The definition of progress can vary depending on someone's values. Before this trip, I thought technological advancements and economic development showed that society was progressing. However, I learned from this trip that this definition of progress does not hold true. From a more holistic viewpoint, I now believe progress means practical environmental preservation that works towards improving environmental and social factors for a more equitable and sustainable world. GDP is commonly used as an economic indicator, however, it is a false indicator of true progress. From an economic perspective, it's important for a city or a country to reduce unemployment, consume more goods, and increase the output of goods and services. However, continuous development fails to consider the environmental and social impacts of construction. That's why environmental stakeholders are valuable to educate and inform others on the environmental impacts of that decision. As we've learned in this course, $2 is not always better than $1. Through expansion and growth, we as a society must question, what are we losing through more development? Is it clean water and air, biodiversity, or natural resources? Development leads Development can lead to negative externalities, which are often not obvious until it's almost too late, such as the thinning ozone layer in the 1970s and 80s and the current coral bleaching in the Great Barrier Reef. For society to progress forward, we must consider the environmental, societal, economical, and ethical views to arrive at a compromise to appease each stakeholder so everyone feels that their needs are met and that each stakeholder has compromised something for the greater good of the globe. Through multiple socio-scientific issue simulations we conducted, it is evident that different stakeholders each have different values and different viewpoints on what is progress. For example, when the Noosa community halted the construction of the marina, many environmental groups were happy because there would be less harm to the Noosa River. However, many of the developers were upset because the marina would have generated a lot of money for them. This is a classic example of how a community's values drives progress. The Noosa community could have chose to promote the construction of the marina, which would have potentially generated more economic growth. However, they valued environmental preservation more than economic growth. Through education and communication, Noosa can serve as an example to other communities that through environmental preservation, economic development is still feasible because a healthy environment is critical for an economy to prosper since it is the source of goods and services that fuel an economy. As we move forward, I hope more communities value environmental preservation over economic development. The current consumption by humans is not sustainable and will eventually destruct our environment beyond repair. One key thing I learned from this course that I hope other people will remember as we move forward is that bigger is not always better and that we should consider the negative externalities before making a decision to progress forward.